20 books. It's not even the end of the month, but I am filming my April book haul, broaden my horizons a little bit and step out of the SFF genre. Another book by one of my favorite authors. Oh man. Jimmy Nuts. I am not stalking you, I promise. Hi, welcome back. Today is April 23rd. Somehow or another, my pile of hauled books has gotten out of hand. Yeah, it's probably going to be a long... I don't know how this happened. I said after last month, because it was my birthday month, and I hauled 30, 40 books, that this month was going to be a small haul, if any. I mean, I knew I would have some because of my subscriptions, but good Lord, somebody stop me. So I don't know. There's probably not going to be a lot of discussion about each of these because I don't even know how many there are. Let me see. I have 20 books. Some of these will be quick because they really were only purchased because of the edition. Like they're a special, or not a special edition, but just a different cover than what I had, and I wanted the different one. I'm not going to blabber. I'm just going to get to it because I don't want to be here for a month. So let's see. The first book that I have is Kairos by Jenny Erpenbeck. I decided that I wanted to read some books that were award winners. So I did a little bit of research into some ones that have won in different categories within the past few years. And I also looked on Barnes & Noble and Amazon as far as some of their bestsellers and things like that, just for some ideas of some literary fiction things that maybe I wouldn't necessarily choose to pick up, but I feel like maybe are important reads or that are maybe interesting. I feel like sometimes I need to broaden my horizons a little bit and step out of the SFF genre and read a little bit more widely than I have been. So this one is an unforgettably compelling masterpiece. Tells the story of a romance begun in East Berlin at the end of 1980s when 19-year-old Katharina meets by chance a married writer in his 50s named Hans. Their long-running, passionate yet difficult affair takes place against the background of the declining GDR through the upheavals wrought by its dissolution in 1989 and what comes after. It describes the path of two lovers. Katharina matures and tries to come to terms with her destructive romance, even as the whole world with its own ideology disappears. This book is right around 300 pages. It looks pretty interesting to me. I do like reading books in which there are complicated relationships, different personalities at play, especially when it's set in the backdrop of historical events. So I think this one will fit right in one of those boxes, if not all. The next one I have, actually already own this, but I just wanted this edition, and that is Junkie by William S. Burroughs. This is his first-hand account all about his battle with addiction. This one was one of the Amazon's bestsellers, hot new releases in SFF genre. This is The God of Endings by Jacqueline Holland. From what I understand, this is a vampire book. Yeah. Her youthful beauty marks the dark truth of her life. She has endured centuries of turmoil and heartache in the wake of her grandfather's long-ago decision to make her immortal like himself. It apparently has brilliant prose with breathtaking suspense and is a larger exploration of the human condition in all its complexity, asking us the most fundamental question: is life in this world a gift or a curse? This sounds right up my alley. I love the vampire story. I love when it pulls in humanity and asks those deep diving questions, those existential questions. I am super excited to get to this one. I'm going to read, I think, together in a little reading vlog because both of these books have won the Pulitzer Prize. The first one is Trust by Hernan Diaz. Even through the roar of the effervescence of 1920s, everyone in New York has heard of Benjamin and Helen Rask. He is legendary Wall Street tycoon. She is the daughter of eccentric aristocrats. Together, they have risen to the very top of the world, seemingly endless wealth. All as a decade of excess and speculation draws to an end, but what cost have they acquired their immense fortune? It elegantly puts forth four competing narratives into conversation with one another. At once immersive story and a brilliant literary puzzle, Trust engages the reader in a quest for truth while confronting the deceptions that often live at the heart of personal relationships, the reality warping force of capital, and the ease with which power can manipulate facts. So this is a very literary book that sounds like it has a lot of commentary on class and wealth and things like that. So that sounds good too. Then I have Demon Copperhead by Barbara Kingslayer. I actually heard about this book on Jimmy Nuts' channel. He read it and loved it, and it kind of started my foray into the Pulitzer Prize winners, I guess you could say. It's a story of a boy born to a teenage single mother in a single wide trailer with no assets beyond his dead father's good looks and copper-colored hair, a caustic wit, and a fierce talent for survival. A plot that never pauses for breath, relayed in his own unsparing voice, Demon braves the modern perils of foster care, child labor, derelict schools, athletic success, addiction, disastrous loves, and crushing losses. Through it all, he reckons with his own invisibility in a popular culture where even the superheroes have abandoned rural people in favor of cities. So it sounds like these two, because they both won the Pulitzer Prize, but it seems like they are both on opposite ends. You know, one with a story about rich people and them dealing with their wealth, and another story about a poor kid and the struggles that he faces. So I definitely am excited to read these two and compare and just see, you know, why they won the Pulitzer and does it stand up, in my opinion. Because, you know, I'm a great book reviewer. The next two are also two that I bought because of their awards that they have won, and just because when I read the synopses, they stood out to me. So the first one is This Other Eden by Paul Harding, and this won the Pulitzer Prize and it is a National Book Award finalist. In 1792, a former enslaved Benjamin Honey and his Irish wife Patience discover an island where they can make a life together, beginning an interracial community that by 1912 includes the indomitable matriarch Esther Honey, her carpenter son Ea, his son Ethan, and a talented self-taught artist. Their world is small but relatively safe until good intentions and bad politics intervene. Reminiscent of the story of Noah's Ark, ends with yet another ark in a luminous, transcendent story of human dignity in the face of bigotry. And then I have The Remains of the Day by Kazu Ishiguro. This won the Nobel Prize in Literature, and it also won the Booker Prize. I obviously, as I'm sure many of you have heard about this book, and it is a compelling portrait of the perfect English butler and of his fading insular world in post-war England. At the end of 3 decades of service at Darlington Hall, he embarks on a country drive during which he looks back over his career to reassure himself that he has served humanity by serving a great gentleman. A lot of these seem like they talk a lot about the human experience. Next, I have Ubik by Philip K. Dick. This is a science fiction novel. It's a classic. I'm sure you've heard of it. Next, I have a special edition from The Broken Binding, and that is Alien Clay by Adrian Tchaikovsky. I mean, these colors are freaking stunning and beautiful, and it is signed, and it actually looks really good. It says, on the distant world of Kiln lie the ruins of an ancient civilization. It's the greatest discovery in humanity's spacefaring history, yet who were its builders and where did they go? Right up my alley. Then we have another prize winner, and that is Cloud Atlas by David Mitchell, and this won a finalist for the Man Booker Prize. I also heard Jimmy Nuts talking about this one, along with a few other people. He was not the only one that have just said how remarkable this book is. I just had to pick it up and see for myself. But it is mind-bending philosophical and scientific speculation in the tradition of Umberto Eco and Philip K. Dick, a brilliantly original fiction that reveals how disparate people connect, how their fates intertwine, and how their souls drift across time like clouds across the sky. And the next 4 are the ones that I bought just for the editions. I already own the actual books. The first one is this anniversary edition of Carrie by Stephen King. I mean, I think it speaks for itself. It's just really, really beautiful. It also has a new introduction by Margaret Atwood. Then I got a new copy of Dune Messiah, and Children of Dune. Oh man. Jimmy Nuts, I'm not stalking you, I promise. But this book, I also heard Jimmy Nuts talking about. It sounded really, really interesting. So this is a science fiction novel. And from what Jimmy said, that it is about a sentient ocean. I mean, wow. Lee grew up in Rotterdam, drawn to the undersea world as an escape, unhappy home life, and volatile father. She is a marine biologist, and she joins an exploration team investigating an unfathomably deep vent in the Atlantic Ocean, where she hopes to find evidence of Earth's first life forms during her research dives. But what she finds instead calls into question everything we know about our beginnings. This is actually pretty chunky. Well, no, it's only 500 pages. And it actually won the Booker Prize. Just all kinds of prize winners in the house today. Next, this is by one of my favorite authors, and that is The Dregs of Empire by Christopher Ruocchio. And this is a short story. It's like 300 pages from the Sun Eater series. I believe that it focuses on Lorien, the Intis. So it looks really good. Take a look at that. Next, I have a book that I pre-ordered long ago, and that is The Book That Broke the World by Mark Lawrence. This is the sequel to the book that wouldn't burn, and it says the library spans worlds and times. It touches and joins distant places. It is memory and future, and amid its vastness, Ivar Inventari, both found and lost Laviria Page. I really liked the first book. I thought that it was intriguing and definitely unique. And so I can't wait to get back into this world and see where he takes it. Then we have The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo. I really, really enjoy Leigh Bardugo's writing. I think that she has a knack for writing characters and storylines that, while the ones that I've read before were geared more to a younger audience, I felt that they also were very compelling for adult readers as well. This one is about Luzia, determined to seize this one chance to better her fortune. She plunges into a world of seers and alchemists, holy men and hucksters, where the lines between magic, science, and fraud are never certain. I think that it sounds really good. But yeah, so Leigh Bardugo wrote the Shadow and Bone trilogy and the Six of Crows duology. I very much enjoyed those, and they were more of the YA or young adult. So this is her an adult novel. 3 more. I can't have done this, and it's only been like 20 minutes. Okay, the first one is science fiction. That is Eifelheim by Michael Flynn, a Hugo Award finalist. So it says centuries ago, one small town in Germany disappeared and was never resettled. Tom, a contemporary historian, and his theoretical physicist girlfriend, Sharon, become interested. Tom, indeed, becomes obsessed. By all logic, the town should have survived. What's so special about Eifelheim? In the year 1348, Father Dietrich is the village priest of Oberhochwald, the village that would soon gain the name of Tulfheim, when the Black Death is gathering strength but is still not nearby. I mean, from what I understand, the town disappears. The writing in here is tiny. Look how small that is. Good night. Then I have book 2 in the Prince of Nothing series by R. Scott Baker, The Warrior Prophet. I read book 1 in January. Loved it. It was a 5-star read for me. I've heard that the series just gets better and better, and so I can't wait to get back into this one. This one is a chunky boy. It's like 600 pages with teeny tiny writing. And it says, as the crusade plunges violently southward, struggling with both the enemy internecine turmoil, the enigmatic Kellhouse finds himself ever closer to the elusive goal of meeting his father. while gaining further mastery of the ancient knowledge he will need for the encounter. Yeah, super excited about this one. And the last one is another book by one of my favorite authors. That is Disquiet Gods by Christopher Rocchio, book 6 in the Sun Eater series. This is the penultimate book, I believe, and I just finished book 5, so I hope to get to this one really soon, and I don't even know. Yeah, I think it picks up about 200 years after book 5. Hadrian is in, well, I'm not going to give it away. But needless to say, Christopher Rocchio never lets me down. I am sure that this book will be a stunner. The only thing is, and I have all of the other books in the series in paperback. And of course, to pre-order, I had to get a hardback. So, I'll be buying the paperback when it comes out. That's it. I can't believe I did this in like 23 minutes. That's a freaking record. Any of these books on your radar? Are they new to you? Do you think that you might want to read any of them? I would like to know though, does a book winning a prize, does that make you want to read it? When you hear that a book has won the Pulitzer Prize or the Booker Prize or the Hugo Award or the Nobel Prize, does that make you want to go out and pick it up and read it? Because never before have I really paid much attention to that, but I don't know. I thought that I would try reading some of them and see how they work for me. So that's going to do it, guys. I'm really glad that you stuck around. And if you're still here, give me a gold star down in the comments section. Thanks for watching. See you again soon. I really kind of want this like out of the screen so much. I guess that's better. Okay. A story of a boy, but can I talk? Fuck. A pair of sisters. Okay, blah, blah, blah. So I will probably, anyway, whatever, who cares? Really glad that you, it's so hard sometimes.